Today I'm going to talk about what death is, because it's a big question. And it's not only on the lips of people like you and me, but it's on the lips of major physicists, big scientist people puzzling over this conundrum of what death could actually be. And the conclusion that they've reached is that it actually doesn't happen, at least not in the way that we think it does. So I want to have a look at that today. In scientific terms, death is called decay, because that's what happens to a particle. It appears, it becomes something, and then it decays and becomes something else. So in particle physics, you have a Feynman's diagram. I'll just draw you a Feynman's diagram. That's a Feynman's diagram. They've often got straight lines here for ease of use. So as you can see from that, you've got two things coming together, forming a particle. The particle exists, and then it decays into other things. And scientists believe that that's what happens to the human body and all other bodies, essentially, because we've got to bear in mind that whatever it is that happens to everything happens to us. Energy cannot be destroyed, and matter is essentially made of energy. There are lots of theories around this, string theory for one, but essentially what it comes down to is that little vibrating pieces of energy make up matter. That's the bottom line. So in our physical format, we appear like this with bodies for a while. We've come from somewhere. In the Feynman's diagram, we would have come from the chromosomes of our parents, combining, merging to produce us as a particle. So here we are in particle reality, being real physical beings for a while. And then our energy, which creates this matter, goes. And that's the point of death. At the point of death, we split again. So our physical form and whatever the energy form is separate. Now, there's another principle in quantum mechanics that you might find really rather interesting here. Oscillation. It's the ability of particles to change from one thing to another. Neutrinos famously do this as they fly. A neutrino can be a tiny little electron neutrino or a muon neutrino, and then suddenly it can change into a tau neutrino, which is enormous or smaller, depending on whether mass hierarchy is real or not. We don't actually know. We don't know a lot about neutrinos, but we do know that they oscillate. They change from one thing to another as they fly. Now, the other thing that changes from one thing to another on a fairly continuous basis is a quark. And the quark is the foundation building block of the atoms of our body. So the structure of our atoms is changing all the time. It's oscillating. Shift, 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 shift. Never stays still. So effectively, you could say that you are dead to the person you were yesterday, because your atom structure has oscillated so much since you last woke up that you are actually a different person today. Where was I? Oscillating neutrinos and oscillating quarks. And the fact that we are effectively dead to the body that we were occupying yesterday. Yes, when we die, we've done one of these. We've changed from one thing, poof, into another. A completely different construct, just like the neutrino does. Completely different mass energy quotient. We change, oscillate, just like neutrinos do, from one thing to another. The fact that energy can't be destroyed is great, because we know that our life energy, the stuff that allows us to live, is singular to us, it's unique to us. We have a signature of our own existence, which corresponds to the frequency and the resonance of our own personal energy. And we're all slightly different. Every one of us is slightly different in that respect. And we know this to be the case as well. So, subscribing particle physics, quantum mechanics, to personal construct is really not a difficult thing to do, and it makes logical, practical sense to my mind to do so. Good boy. I just don't want you to put on me, mate. I really just don't want you to do that. Is that okay? Yeah, good boy. Death equals entropy. Entropy is the universal system that we have to live with. It's the one that ensures we perpetuate the illusion of time moving in one direction only. And it's the one that plays the cruel trick of aging our bodies while not aging our minds, because our minds don't belong in entropy. Our minds are these oscillations, waveforms. Our minds calculate and procrastinate. Our minds function on a completely different plane to our physical bodies. So it's very frustrating that the mind doesn't age as we get older. And of course, when you're very young, you don't even realize that that's the case. But that, in a nutshell, is essentially what death is from a scientific point of view. And you can go and rummage around in your search engine and see what you can come up with as regards what the scientists say, because they're all arguing about this one, and there are various points of view being put forward. So have fun, take care, love you loads. Bye.